Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candi.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks,
Bumps,
and Bruises. So do you give your kids or maybe even your grandkids allowances? That's a topic that I think has changed a whole lot through the years because I think now reward systems are more done in different ways, maybe than just money. And so, Candi, you and Gabe both have young children. So, Candi, I'm going to start with you. You have two boys. You have a 5-year-old and an 11-year-old. And they're old enough to do chores. So let me ask you this first. Do you make them do chores?
Yes.
And do you give them a financial allowance? Do you give them money for those chores?
No. There are some things that they just have to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of them learning. Like when I was little, I didn't get paid to make my bed or to do things. You know, you just did those things to teach responsibility to your kids. So they do that. They do Wyatt and Hunter both. Hunter can't actually put the clothes in the washing machine, but he will bring me his laundry basket. I will say, okay, laundry time. They'll both go get their baskets, bring them in. Wyatt is old enough to dump them in and kind of pay attention more to that. So no, they don't get paid for that. We do, however, allow more screen time maybe with electronics, with an iPad or things like that, to where if you've done some things like help us let the dog out, those are things you need to normally be doing. But if you've done a lot or there's maybe something that you've been wanting and you don't have quite enough money to get it, we'll help you. My son Hunter used to get a quarter every time he would brush his teeth. And that was just to get him in the habit of brushing his teeth. Now he will still, 5 years old, he'll say, Mommy, if I go brush my teeth, can I have a quarter? I'm like, no, that's just something you do now. Well, you used to give me a quarter. I said, that was to get you motivated and get you in the habit of it. So,
better known as bribery.
Pretty much.
And it works well.
It does. Now, if there's a chore, maybe Daddy needs some help unloading a bunch of wood or some rocks. Not saying we'll give you this if you do that, because you need to be doing that anyways.
Right.
But as just kind of a thank you for always helping out, pitching in.
Right.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I have seen advertised on TV, there is like a debit card now, an account that you can set up for your children, and you can transfer money to that. So when they do chores, it's like all allowance based, that you say, okay, well, I'm transferring $10 into your account. Things have just changed.
Things have changed. I don't know if I'm ready for all this change or
I'm not.
Gabe, you have a 3-year-old, so that's quite a bit younger, but still old enough to do, I mean, he could pick up his toys and do some chores.
Oh, yeah.
So do you give an allowance?
We don't, and that's actually something we haven't even talked about yet. I don't know, we may in the future, but yeah, pick up toys, and there's things, you know, even as 3 years old, that he is perfectly capable of doing. He used to, you know, if he was done with, let's say, candy wrapper or, you know, whatever piece of trash, whatever he had, he would bring it to us. And, so, you know, quite a while back, I was like, nope, you know where the trash can is, take it to the trash can. So even just little things like that, now he just does it without even thinking. He doesn't try to bring it to us first. He just, whatever piece of trash, wrapper from something, he knows to take it to the trash can. And it's even gotten to that point. I understand why people like to have larger families, lots of kids. Maybe the day will come that I just sit on the couch. I don't have to do anything. Like, hey, can you bring me a Dr. Pepper? Hey, I can't reach the remote. You know?
Oh, my word.
No, I'm kidding. Just a little bit. But I can see how, you know, he can just do all that stuff on his own now. So it's like, buddy, pick that up, take that to the trash can for me. Or, you know, when we're clearing the table after supper and he has his plate. Well, you can take your plate to the sink, and he can reach the sink now. So you can set it up on the counter. So he, you know, things that he can do. But as far as chores, again, I can see why people have large families because, you know, we got a pretty big yard, and, you know, the grass mowing and the weed pulling and all that. One day, you know, that's going to be in my benefit. But
start saving.
As of right now, yeah, exactly. As of right now, we don't. But you said start saving. That's funny because we mentioned that debit card, that being all right, you do all your chores, or, you know, you get all A's or B's on your report card, whatever, you know, we'll put this in there. I like that idea just because of a savings mindset of, because I think that's very important as well to teach your kids about saving. So I received an allowance growing up. I don't remember how much. I don't remember what the criteria was, but there were also just things that we were just expected to do. You know, you will make your bed, you will clean up after yourself, you will do this. There were high expectations, but I do remember getting an allowance as well, but it wasn't just willy-nilly, here's your money and you can do whatever with it. Mom and Dad very much instilled two things into us with that allowance, and that was, first thing was tithing. Anytime that we got an allowance, 10% of that went in the offering plate next Sunday at church. No questions asked. That was an expectation. Let's say if we got $10, Dad would give it to us in either all ones or a 5 and 5 ones, because at least $1 of that was going in the offering plate next Sunday at church. And that really instilled in our minds, for my brother and I, how important it was, number one, be thankful, but to give back. So that is a practice that has gone through up till this very day. Immediately 10% always goes to church. But then it also just instilled savings. You know, Mom and Dad are like, is that really what you want? Is that what you want us to save your money for? Maybe you want to keep saving money because you mentioned wanting this item. So the level of expectation without reward, I think, is very important as well, because, you know, we've all three kind of said, I don't get paid to take the trash out. I don't get paid to mow my grass. So there's certain expectations, but also that level of, okay, well, when you do receive funds, you need to think of savings, and you also need to keep in mind giving back as well.
You know, I agree with that. I am quite a bit older than you two and have already raised 2 kids, and neither got allowances. And back in the day when I was raising my kids, allowance was a big thing. Like, most parents did that. And I just never did, but for basically the same reasons that both of you were talking about. There are just things in life that you are expected to do, and you don't always have bells, whistles, confetti, and party hats for every single thing that we have to do in life.
No, sir.
And so I kind of just taught the kids that at an early age, that you're expected to make your bed. You're expected to keep your room clean. And a lot of this was them, I think. I think they were afraid I would mess up their laundry. But by the time they were in the 9th grade, they wanted their own laundry basket, and they literally did their own laundry, put it in the washing machine, put it in the dryer, folded it, put it away. And so since my kids were in the 9th grade, I didn't have to do any laundry for them. So that was really nice, because let me tell you, some teenagers can come up with some laundry.
Yes, they can.
So I just never did the allowance thing. Now, I did reward for some things, like if they went above and beyond and did something big that I didn't ask them to do without having to tell them 14 times. Y'all know what I mean. If we went shopping and my daughter saw a cute little blouse and wanted it, and she had done something specifically above and beyond, you know, I would reward that sometimes. So I think reward is good.
Oh, yeah.
But not for everything, because life's just not like that.
And you're going to grow up and realize it's not like that.
You're going to grow up and go to work, and they're going to ask specific things of you. You do get a paycheck, but you have to learn that there are some things you just do because you got to do them.
Right.
Like here at Joy FM, I don't get paid for taking the trash out. Gabe doesn't get paid for cleaning the toilet, and you don't get paid for keeping your cubicle clean, but you do it.
You just need to do those things. You have to do those things.
Right.
And we take the trash out because, frankly, it stinks in here. So, but you know what I mean. There's just some things
You
in
can't
life.
go to your boss and say, hey, I took out the trash. Could I have $100 today?
Yes. Do I get extra for that?
Right.
So for those that do give allowances, I think that's great. I'm not saying that's a wrong thing at all. I think that's absolutely a great thing if that's what you want to do. But to each his own, right? But Gabe, I want to piggyback on what you said. To teach them the tithing thing is great. I mean, it's that's, to me, that's something, the earlier you learn it, the more it is instilled in you. You know, they say that you have to do something for 6 weeks every day to make it a habit. That if you will do something for 6 weeks every single day, no exceptions, that it becomes a brand new habit in your life. For example, working out. if you'll do it every day for 6 weeks, it just becomes part of who you are. You know you're going to do it. And so I think that's great with kids. If they know they have to make up their bed, if they know they have to take the trash out, after about 6 weeks, they know, and it will get to where you don't have to tell them as much.
Yes.
You will have to tell them some, no matter what. But I think it's just a good thing to instill those habits. So just talking about kids and allowances and grandkids, some of you grandparents may even do the same thing when they come and stay with you and they help you out. You may want to, I think it's a little different with the grandparents.
It is, totally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Grandparents get to spoil and then send home.
Right.
Right. That's just a given. But so just a great kind of topic. And I think it really has changed from back when I was raising kids. Most everybody would just give like 50 cents a week or that kind of thing, to now debit cards. Are you kidding me? Debit cards? I want one of those.
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candi, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.